Have I pressed the right button? I have. Good evening. I don't know how we'll do with this because we're obviously we're in horizontal mode tonight, and we seem to attract all the loons if we put it in vertical mode. But I just thought I'd do it a little bit different just for once, so you can actually read the stupid people going the right way. Me and Bill's dad love. Oh God, here we go again. Hang on. Territorial Army with Royalty and Bill's kids. Everyone is loving Surinder and Geffen. Oh, nice. Excellent. One day you'll have to explain to me what on earth you're on about. You really will. Hello, Cloud Chucker. You're first. Well done. Hello, John. You're second. So you get the second award. So then we've got the Villa Boys from Aston in number 3. And John Paul Glasgow here as always. Well done. Thank you very much. So I don't know how busy it'll be today. I just thought I'd give it a bit of a try just to see if it worked in this mode. We've only got 212 subscribers now. Anki, how you doing? Nice to see you. So whether it'll work doing it this way, I don't know. Do you like my little subscribe thing? Apparently you're supposed to tell everybody to subscribe all the time and then they subscribe. So subscribe. But I presume everybody that's in here is subscribed, so that's not really going to work out, is it? The other thing is I can't tell how many people's in the thing, so and I can't imagine that they're going to share us out like before. But anyway, we'll see. I just fancy sitting in this big comfy chair and doing it. It's like I'm not wearing anything, doesn't it, really? It looks like I'm all blacked out from the bottom. I've got this shirt on that wouldn't fit in October, so I'm doing all right. Hey up, Mickey Love, the sub. I hope you're all following John, Swans and Wildlife, because he's a good lad. Have a look at him, if you like, especially if you like swans, because there's a lot of them about. Apparently, you get 1 trillion subscribers every time you put a picture up of a swan. That's why he's doing much better than I am. We've done well. We got to 213 yesterday. It's one of them things where you look every day to see if you've got another one, and some days you have, and some days you've lost one. So some people like the live stream, some people like the other ones. My videos seem to have took a bit of a dip. I don't know why that is. Thuggish look. I look a bit white today. I haven't been that well over the weekend, got to be honest. I've just been out for my tea. I've been out for my tea. I've been for a carvery tonight. I went out to the Trentport near Gainsborough. If you've not, I don't know if you've ever tried it, John, but their beef is to die for. It really is. It tastes like they've sliced up a big lump of old steak or something, or a big lump of sirloin or something like that. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? It's not expensive in any way, shape or form. We've got a bit of a thing now where Lou and Liz come for tea on a Monday because the two littlest go off with the dad for a while. So we've been having a bit of a dinner date, and this week, like I'm going to tell you about this weekend. So obviously it's been busy for me because I drive a cab for a living, and it's a bank holiday weekend, so it's going to be busy, isn't it? So Saturday night I had sort of burgers for tea. Sue cooked them, so they were really nice. Sunday night I went to the KFC, and they've got a bit of a special offer on. So me being me, like rode past like that, $11.99. Well, we're in. So off I went inside. Well, I didn't go inside. I went round the corner and straight into the drive-through. Said, I'll have that, please. So there's me $11.99. I said, do you get chips with that? She says, no. I said, well, I'll order some chips. And I said, do you get a drink with it? She says, no. So I ordered a drink as well. Anyway, it's about 15 quid by the time I'm done. I thought, that seems a bit dear for your tea. Anyway, she comes out. She said, it's going to be a while because she said, we haven't got some of these cooked. So I said, all right, then. We'll give it a while. So I went and sat outside, and it seemed to be an eternity. Anyway, she comes out. She did the job to walk, really. She's got all this stuff on a tray. And I think what you basically got was like, I don't know, 25 pieces of chicken. I thought, there's no way I'm ever going to eat all that, but I did. Anyway, the only trouble is when you eat all that is that obviously, you're a bit full. So I didn't bother eating anything at all today. And I thought, I need something with a bit of gravy. There's no way. Well, that chicken had gravy, to be really honest, because you got 2 pots of gravy, because I think it's a set meal for about 3 people or something. Anyway, I managed to get it down me, and it wasn't a bad tea for 16 quid. But I thought, well, I'll eat the hot wings first, because you can't get them to the cat. And then I'd sort of had a few bits of the other stuff. And but it was very nice, to be honest. But I think, next time I go, but the only thing is, it protects Sue. She doesn't like anything spicy, so I'm still going to get the hot wings, whichever way you look at it. Trouble is, the KFC, though, it's a little bit fatty for me, and it doesn't actually do me all that good. But anyway, so there's my story of the weekend. I had a sort of a reasonable weekend. I was going to go out for a walk today. Of course, it chucked it down here all day. Absolutely lashed it down while about 5:30. So that's that. That's another day gone. So the only thing I've got uploaded at the minute, I keep popping a few shorts up out the original live streams. They seem to have done quite well over the weekend. And my chat's gone dead. Everybody's gone home. But other than that, the only thing I've got is a nature walk that comes up on Friday. But I'll be back to normal on Monday. You watch it be the worst weather ever for a month or something like that. It'd be terrible. I need to get something done. Yeah, rubbish, isn't it? It's just what are you supposed to do? You can't fly a drone in that, can you? And even going for a walk would be miserable. But it's Easter Monday, for as long as I can remember, it's always been awful. I think apart from the one in the lockdown, I think it was quite nice. But it's the cold, isn't it? It's still cold at night. But anyway, whatever. Hello, Scott. What are you doing? Just in from the man cave. Are you still creating? I haven't had any takers on the items I've put up, so people like things. It's nice to like things, but it's also nice to spend a bit of money, but I didn't think they'd be going too bad. For anybody that doesn't know, Scott's got a friend, and me being me, I can't remember what he's called him now. And sadly, he's had a horrible diagnosis. Well, obviously, my daughter had a horrible diagnosis a couple of years ago. So it's always a subject that's very close to my heart. Now, when my daughter got an awful diagnosis, she's got 4 children. She's not with a partner because she's not, and obviously you don't really plan at 42 to get a life, well, not even a life changing, a life ending illness. That's right, Peter Jones, bless him. So you don't actually plan to get this, so you don't really financially plan for it. Just the same as what Peter hadn't done either. And all of a sudden you've still got the same bills, you've still got this, you've still got that, and you've still got to try and carry on for the rest of your life. So what the community did for my daughter, they all got together and they did live shows and stuff like that, and they raised a lot of money. They raised, I think, somewhere in the region of, and I can't remember the exact thing without looking back on it, but somewhere about $8,000. And the GoFundMe that somebody put up in total raised, I think by the time she'd done with everything, there was best part of raised, because you have to pay for a GoFundMe. What people don't realise is when you actually put money into a GoFundMe, they try and charge you for it, and you think, well, all right then, that's all right. They need some fees, but they also take a fairly big cut out the money that's raised as well. Well, there's nothing to compare it to really, because it's an excellent way, and these people get money that they would never have got. So you can't complain about it to a point, but they do take quite a lot out of it depending on what the appeal was for. But she got somewhere in the region, raised was over 30,000 quid, which is a lot of bloody money. Which meant that she could start with a bucket list. Which one of them was to go to Australia to visit a friend. She'd never been to Australia, so she went out there, and that cost quite a lot of money. And just basically paying things off to that would have been a worry, because the last thing you want is be going through chemotherapy and being really poorly, and then having bills knocking on the door as well. So the only thing is, it restricts your earning potential, so you're not doing so. You're not going to do so well ever again in your life. But what I've tried to do, whenever I say anything like that, I always try and make a difference. However small it is, I always try and contribute to absolutely everything. Sadly, I'm not a millionaire, so I can't contribute to everybody that's got a life-changing or life-ending illness. But I do try. Just try and do something, in a small way. Yeah, good. Yeah, I'd say we've been out for tea with her tonight. We took her for a carvery. She didn't have one, actually, because she's vegetarian for one thing, and I don't think it's quite so good when you don't have the beef. But Lizzie came with us as well. I don't know if you remember Lizzie, my eldest granddaughter, who's coming up to 19 years old. So she came, and she's also, well, she's not vegetarian, she's pescatarian. She's also had a carvery as well, but she's bunged up with that awful bug that's going about. She was in a terrible state when she got here. I said, you got any paracetamol? She went, oh no. So anyway, I give her a couple of paracetamol. So she came round a bit, but her nose is streaming and her eyes are streaming. She looked, I said, you ought to be in bed. I don't know how you've even come. Oh, she said, I've been in bed 2 days. I'm fed up of being in there. So we went out. We had a couple of hours together. We do it every week now. It's lovely. So Lou comes to drop the kids off and the dad takes them swimming. And sometimes he brings them back, and then the other week he doesn't. He keeps them. So we just sit there and we have a chat and a cup of tea, and it's just nice to spend a bit of time together without no disrespect to the 2 youngest, but they're quite demanding. The older one of the 2 youngest isn't. She's nearly 5. So if you give her a screen to look at, she'll look at that. But if you don't, then and then the youngest one is nearly 2, and she's like a ninja on steroids. She's absolutely mustard at everything. She's got her fingers in absolutely everything. It's a constant battle to go and pull her out some drawers that she didn't know what to be in, because there's got stuff in there that she didn't know what to be looking at. And, or writing on the telly with her fingers, or just anything. She's just an absolute terror. But I'd say she's just coming to that age where she will be, really. She just needs a very small pair of handcuffs. Well, 2 sets, really. One for her feet as well, because you can't even stop them. But she's so gorgeous. They're both lovely kids. And, they're all lovely kids. I've got a grandson as well. He sort of lives with his dad most of the time. But, they've got a lot to put up with, them kids. The 2 youngest don't know what they've got to put up with, but the older 2 certainly do. and it's surprising how they cope. So we're really pleased the other week when Lizzie won the Carer of the Year in Birmingham. I think it's got it is, sounds awesome, but yeah, it is. It's nice to get together. But she won the Carer of the Year, Young Carer of the Year at an award ceremony in Birmingham, which she thoroughly deserved, and I'm pleased for her. But she's going to go to university in a short couple of months, which seems to be coming around pretty quick. We're all going to miss her. I think she's going to go to Newcastle, and she's going to study to be a barrister, which is going to be brilliant, isn't it, really? So if you get in trouble, you'll have to let me know. You're not getting mates rates, though. I bet she wouldn't even do it for me, would she, really? It's just nice. It's nice to see him get on in life, really, isn't it? But so she took a year off. She didn't get a result on one of her exams that she really wanted. So she took a year out, but I think secretly she wanted to spend this last year with her mum because, you know, we sort of all thought that it was going to be curtains, if you like. You know what I mean? You don't know, do you? You just imagine that this is... She didn't have cancer, and then she did have cancer, and you just imagine that's what's going to happen. Yeah, that's gorgeous, isn't it? It was absolutely gorgeous. So was I. I mean, you always secretly think, well, you know, that'd be lovely if she did do that, and hopefully she will do that. But when they go on and actually do it, it was really, really cool. But shame she didn't win, 2 months in Las Vegas and take a granddad with her, but no, it's not. It was really nice to see her do it. And they had a lovely night, but it was one of them big flash affairs. It was a black tie dinner. And it was in Birmingham, and it was Indian style food, and they had a really good curry. Brilliant, isn't it? Really. So, what's everybody else been up to? Please don't be shy. So, obviously, we're in the horizontal mode, like the old-fashioned mode, and YouTube really like you to be in the portrait mode because then they'll share you out, and loads of people come in and tell you you're bald. But I thought just tonight it'd make a change to sit in my big comfy chair like I've done for many a year, and do it in the old-fashioned way. So I whipped up a little bit of an intro up, which seemed pretty cool. Did anybody get the joke about the Bakewell? That's one of Stu's, and he's not even here. But I'm sure she will. Lizzie will definitely go on to be whatever she wants to be because she's really focused. I know everybody says it about the grandkids, the bright and this, that, and the other, but she's always been a bright button since she was very young. Bruce T, good evening. How you doing? Nice to see you. When she through all the mirth and the misery, she went on and she got 2 A levels with distinction and passed the driving test as well. Building Mick watching the show. It needed sorting, mate. Yeah, you've lost me, mate. Sorry. How you doing, Bruce? Nice to see you. It's it's all right doing it on the phone all the time, but I end up sitting in the kitchen, and those kitchen chairs are fantastic to sit in while you're having a meal. But me and my big posterior, they get a bit bony by the time you've finished. It is a good laugh though when they come in and start calling you baldy and all this sort of thing. It keeps a bit of a rush to it. That first one I did, or second one I did, where over 600 people come through. It was so bloody quick. An hour and a half disappeared in like 10 minutes, but it was and it was good fun as well. So if you haven't seen these, I'm just going to show you these. I keep showing everybody, but new Rewick needed settlement. Right, yeah. I bought these, so when I go out with my phone and my gimbal, I'll be able to do live streams as I'm walking about. So this should be pretty good. These are really good. If you're a YouTube creator and you're looking for something sort of cheap, that's the T-piece there. This T-piece just clips in the bottom of any Type-C phone. If you've got an Apple iPhone, you get a different kit, and it's got a lightning connector on the bottom. And there's 2 microphones in there. And they just clip onto your shirt, and away you go. Click, and there's an app that's on the phone that you just connect up to, and you can change the settings in the microphones through the phone. So they're absolutely brilliant. I didn't get them sent out or anything like that, and they've not been in touch. I haven't spoke to them about them or anything like that. So I'm not trying to tell everybody the good when they're not. But if you're the problem always is when you're using a phone is getting your audio into it, and like on a windy day and stuff like that, it's an absolute nightmare because all people can hear is the wind, and you get home after a really long day walking about, and basically most of your footage isn't usable. But I haven't tried the wind muffler on them yet. I was going to go out today and do something with them. But obviously, I said the weather's been absolutely bloody awful. Who wants to go and do that? It's just pointless. Because it just, blows all over the camera, and it's a horrendous sort of day. So I didn't bother today, really. I've got a bit of something going on myself, so I don't know whether I've inherited somebody's bug. The only thing is, when you drive a cab for a living, is you get most things that are going past. But thankfully, since I stopped smoking many years ago now, which is like 9 years ago, I don't seem to get as ill as what I did. I used to get ill from the end of October. I used to get every single bug that went past for, until the January, when people sort of stopped coughing. That's the way it works. Anyway, cheers. I've already had my obligatory 2 pints of Pepsi Max while I was having my tea, so I don't think I can do another one. Yeah, same here. It was just shocking weather, really. I remember years ago they used to do grass tracking with cars. And we were so excited. We were actually on the team. I was only really young, but we went and helped this guy out who just started racing. So we turned up it was a usual thing. It was a reasonable week the week before, and then we got to Easter Monday, and the heavens opened. Well, grass tracking in that, you just couldn't get going. And then I think the car broke down soon after anyway, so it just ruined it. And you just think, wow, it's really, you look forward to these holidays off and that, and then you get crap weather. And then I think it was it last week or the week before? I mean, I wanted to go do something on the Wednesday, and the weather was shocking. And the next morning, the sun was out. You're like, wow, what did I do wrong to deserve this? It's just the way it is, isn't it? But I remember there was one, I think it was 1 September, and I only used to take one day off a week, and it was always on a Wednesday, and it rained 7 consecutive Wednesdays, and the heavens opened, and you're like trying to go out and do something on your day off, and you just couldn't do anything at all. You couldn't even go shopping. It was, couldn't go for a wander around anywhere, and it happened every week for 7 consecutive weeks. It felt like you were doomed at least to have two days off a week now, so you have a bit more of a chance. I have Monday and Wednesday, but the last few Mondays have been rubbish, haven't they? But I think we got spoilt. We had a few really nice Mondays, didn't we? Oh, we had a few really nice weeks. Had a couple of really nice weeks, but I hadn't had my drone up for it seems like forever. You've been a second channel for different content. I'll give you a sub on it. All right, mate. Well, thanks. What are you going to put on there? Is it your OnlyFans channel? It's all right having all these channels. I've got 3 of them, but I only really use this one now. I don't bother. So I've got Mick review stuff, but that was going quite well. But then you just seem to run out of things to review. And you're buying stuff in to review, and it's just gets, I was actually buying stuff off Timo, only cheap stuff, but it just got to the stage in the end where you just think, well, this is just absolutely pointless. You've got loads of subscribers, and I'm trying to get the watch time hours up, but as if it went dead. I don't know whether it didn't help. I actually promoted the channel, which got a lot of subscribers, but not many people were watching in the end. There's some really good views on there. There's 1 or 2 of them with 4,500. Weather is going to be nicer, hopefully. Hopefully next Monday it's going to be nice. I need to go and do something. I need to go and do Ingemells to Skegness. And then that'll sort of finish that walk off. Ready for the 2nd of June. And then on the 2nd of June, we're going to, I don't know if John's going to make it, because he got his holiday cancelled to Lanzarote, so I don't know if he's not going to be here or not. But me and my granddaughter are going to walk from Mablethorpe to Skegness. Is taxi driving a decent living, Mick, or has it died a death now? It's not been brilliant, to be honest, since probably November. October was reasonable. November just seemed to take an absolute dip. And then all of a sudden, it's not really picked up. January was surprisingly not too bad. But the last few weeks, and especially, have just been so quiet. The nightlife seems to have disappeared. I'm only in a small market town. But I've been doing it for over 30 years, and it goes in pits and troughs. We don't have Uber here because there won't be any point. They won't make a living. I mean, if they did come, I don't think we'd make a living either. So I'd have to go and think of something else to do. But it's the same as anything. It just seems to go up and down. And if money tightens up, I've sort of aimed because I work with another guy, so I've sort of aimed my shifts at the evening because he's getting a bit older and he don't want to work at night, which is fair dues. I mean, he's nearly 70. So he don't want to work at night. So I thought, well, I don't like getting up in the morning, so I went for that shift, if you know what I mean. But it seems to end so quick. You'll be doing all right, and then all of a sudden, it's they've all gone home. It's as if they all like to get home by 10 o'clock at night now, or 11 o'clock at night. You get to 1 o'clock when you used to sort of have what would classify as a kick-out time. They've all gone. Just, But, it's life, innit? A lot of other people have got the same problem, haven't they? It doesn't matter what you're doing. My wife, she works in retail, and, that's really cutthroat now. Because a lot of stuff's gone up in price, hasn't it? And to them as well. So they're sort of passing it on to people. So I think Lidl's, they're getting, and Aldi, they're doing really well in this country anyway. And in Spain, but even their prices have gone up. I think with Lidl's, if you get I don't know about Aldi so much, but Aldi as well. If you get the produce that they sell from the countries that they buy it from, then you're doing all right. But if you get name brands, it's just the same price as what it is anywhere else. But again, that's life, innit? Everything seems to have gone up apart from wages, or wages have gone up slightly. Mine ain't gone up at all because I'm self-employed. I'm still getting paid the same as I was 3 or 4 years ago, and I think we sort of need a rise to bring us back up there. But trying to get a load of, you've got some drivers that ride around for no. If people went to Gainsborough, they would have the Gainsborough taxi mafia to deal with. They're in Lincoln because obviously Lincoln's a city. They're in Doncaster because Doncaster is a city. But they don't really bother with small market towns because there's just not enough. There's not enough for them. They can't do it. There's just not enough for them. They need to be pretty busy all the time. They're getting a big old slagging out there. There's a lot of stuff coming up on. I think it must have been on YouTube because that's all they really watch. And there's other companies starting up from the drivers that don't like Uber. So. That have worked with Uber and they're saying that they're ripping them off or whatever they do. Thing is, the way it works for me, I've been self-employed. I've been used to getting all my own work. So if Uber came here and I signed up to them, I'd basically be paying them a fee to do the work I already did before they come. So that's it, isn't it? Pointless. Same as signing up to apps and stuff like that. There was a load of people who started to try and do apps and they're ringing up saying, do you want to sign up to my app? So, wow, who's going to go on the app like? Oh, well, the people in the local area said, no, they're all right, I'll just let them ring me up. But I was talking to somebody and they said the reason people like to use apps, because like you book a cab or an Uber, and you can see the name of the bloke that's coming, or the name of the person that's coming, what car it is, what registration number it is. You haven't got to worry about carrying around cash. And it turns up and it picks you up and it takes you away and it drops you off where you want to be. And it says, well, that is the reason that that people are going for these things, because it makes them feel safe. It says, well, the biggest thing is with booking a taxi is you ring them up and they say, yeah, I'll be there in 10 minutes. So you stood there for 10 minutes, which feels like about 25 minutes, and then they're a couple of minutes late, and then you have no idea where they are, so you don't know if they're going to turn up or not. But it said with the Uber and that, with the app system, it don't work. Gainsborough Mafia, yeah, I don't know. There is quite a few other ones that started. We lost a lot in the pandemic because people had 4 or 5 cars and they just couldn't pay for the drivers and they didn't have any money, and so they sort of packed up. Some of them packed up, went down to 1 car, stopped working nights. So I mean, for a while it was quite good, but it's the same as everything. Every business has a it has a trough, then it has a peak, and you know, and then it goes like that. You just get thinking you're all right, and then something happens, doesn't it? Oops, sorry about that. If you've got earphones on. So this setup, for people that don't know, this is the Shure SM7B going into the Rodecaster Duo, and I think it makes a pretty good sound. I don't know about you. It's not the cheapest setup in the world, and I actually did it for streaming when I had the vape channel. It cost me quite a lot of money, but the rewards are in when you actually listen to it back. It's got a fair old sound, especially this mic. I have the tone turned down pretty well, and it brings through this lovely clear audio. But it's not the cheapest setup in the world. It'd be a big save up if I had to do it again, put it like that. But the good thing is I've been doing it quite a few years, and you tend to just take some money out of your out of what you've got left, and just keep trying to upgrade everything that you've got. The amount of sort of audio mixers and different microphones I've tried have been unbelievable. But apparently, this is the microphone that Michael Jackson sang Billie Jean on. Not this one in particular, but this style. So I can't believe I've just been talking for 31 minutes and 52 seconds without breathing in. So nobody's been anywhere this weekend then with this terrible weather. It's terrible weather down here doesn't always mean it's terrible weather, in other places in the UK. I've been, what was I watching earlier? I've been watching TikToks from Benidorm, people live from Benidorm. That's filling up now, and the beaches are filling up. That Frank the Stagman, he put a video up, and he was on about people getting fined on the beach. But then he forgot to tell everybody why people were getting fined on the beach, so I've no idea. But apparently you can't smoke on a beach in Benidorm, and if you go down as far as Finistrat, where we were, you can't smoke or vape on a beach. And as soon as you light one up, there's all this bloody people shouting down loudspeakers saying, "You're not allowed to smoke, you're not allowed to vape." Your voice has always been awesome. Mick has been nice down here. Friday was a washout, but the rest have been brilliant. Yeah, today it was grim as out here. Yesterday the sun was out, but there was a cold wind, and Saturday was similar, I think. But today, so I was just planning. I'd got the camera ready, I got my gimbal ready, and I was doing everything, and I was going. I had fun last night on NUVS. Birdie said to do 400 watts on my hog. Didn't realise it. I bet you've still been sick, aren't you? I ain't watched it yet, Steve, to be honest. I came up here and put some juice together, but I've put a bottle somewhere and I can't find it. I made 3 bottles and I've only got 2. I honestly don't know what's happened to it. I even thought, well, I must have took it downstairs, but I just can't find it. I can't find it anywhere. I think I'm cracking up. I had fun laughing at you, Anki. I did try that once. I did try Can't Move All Park now in Cornwall. Easter weekend, so local stay at home. I have just been... Yeah, that's right, yeah. That's the only problem, isn't it, really? I ain't seen... Oh, Space Turtle, how you doing? You had a nice walk today, bit of drizzle, though. What... You're obviously in Germany, aren't you? What are you in Germany? What part are you in? Because you get some really good weather over there, don't you? You get some really warm weather. I think with sort of the rest of Europe, if you like, if we left here on a warm day and then flew to Amsterdam, it would be hotter. But if we left here on a cold day and flew to Amsterdam, chances are it would be colder. The winters are far more cool in Holland than what they are here, and far more warm in the summer. We once went to Amsterdam. It was about 30 degrees, and the humidity was horrendous. And we decided to stay in the Botel, which is in the... used to float about next door to the Sea Palace. And we'd never thought about it. It was a floating hotel, and it was a steel hull. We like sleeping inside an oven. In the end, we actually opened all the windows as much as we could, and then shoved a shoe in the door so we could get some draft from the other side. It was the only way we could get to sleep. It was just it was horrendous. We've done a bit of upgrading since then. We tend to stay in hotels with air conditioning, to be honest. Now we've got old. Oh, you're in the middle. Clouds. Yeah, it got to. I think it's about 1 o'clock when it started raining, and I thought, it'll soon be gone. So I looked on the weather, and it said 5:15 it was going to stop. And sure enough, it was about 5:15 when it did stop. But the puddles were massive, and if you're going walking in the country, it's just all crappy and awful. You expect to be yeah. He's got the most screens I've ever seen. He'd be good with a, I don't know, what stock exchange? He's got more screens than the stock exchange. The only thing is, if he gets a voice running on one of them, he can't find out which screen the voice running on is running on. It's going to be a mystery where that bottle went. I'm hoping it's fell off somewhere. You imagine somebody's come in and nicked a bottle of my liquid. I don't, because the kids never made it up here, so I ain't got to worry about that. Plus the fact you wouldn't reach up there anyway. The other one won't come up here for it. You've sorted the voices out. Yeah. The ones in your head. That's the trouble. But we could hear him. So this channel it's gone from 0 subscribers in November to 212, 213 now. So I think it must be somewhere near on track. I don't know what subject you'd be able to get it to go quicker than that, because the smaller the channel, the harder it is to push it out, I think. But those vertical live streams have definitely helped. I'll probably do it again vertical. Yeah, I'm running OBS, yeah. Yeah, through OBS through the Rodecaster into OBS. I get on well with OBS. I've tried Streamlabs to do vertical live streams, but you have to turn the camera around, and it just doesn't look right on the camera, but it works pretty well on the phone. So I say I'll probably do it again on Thursday night. I like to come on a Thursday night, just when I finish work. You get loads of people in, and it's just a bit of a laugh, isn't it, really? But I was a bit late last week. Hang on a minute. I won't. All right, yeah. No, it's all right. Yeah, we only have a little. The only thing was, especially when it's in vertical mode. I mean, I was showing you that tank that day, and they put it behind the age gate, and it's the last thing you want, because it's a waste of a video, really. But that's how that was going into the short stream, so I don't know whether they've got a thing on it. I don't know whether, because like on the other ones, when you're in this mode, I just try and keep it away from this channel, really, because I've got that other channel if I wanted to do that on it, really. Try and keep this for the walking thing. But if I don't do some walking, there won't be anything to upload to it, really, will there? But obviously we're getting into the decent weather now. Off to bed, 6 a.m. start. Good lad. Keep the home fires burning. Yeah, best of luck, Scott. Anyway, best of luck with that other thing. Hopefully, some people, I don't know whether it's getting to that time of the month where they won't be able to do it. It'll stay up there anyway. Well, in case anybody does want to buy it, it'll be on there for the next few weeks. So, and hopefully, it'll raise a bit of money for the lad. We'll catch you soon, Scott. Anyway, listen to you again on a Friday when you're on that show yourself. So I've got plans today. There's a path. If you come out of our house and walk around, there's Morrison's just around there, and then you go up a road, and then basically you're in the country, and there's a public footpath that takes you down the side of a wood. So, and if you get a decent day, I think there'll be a bit of decent drone flying around there. There's a lot of deer in that wood as well, so you've got a chance of catching some deer. Not catching it, but filming some deer. And apparently it goes on for 2 or 3 miles. So that'll be a decent walk, that. And I think it's fairly good hard standing as well, because the only trouble is if you're a bit out of well, completely out of shape like I have been for many a year. If you don't watch it, if you're walking on rough ground, the next 3 days you can't bloody walk. It's terrible. That's the only thing with the beach. It's a different. There you go. That's the way to do it. If I walk down the beach, it's like a different sort of cardio exercise. That takes some busy dragging your feet through. I'm close to a forest area, and there are a billion paths. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's so nice as well. Is that like? I mean, I flew to Prague from Leeds Bradford Airport, and is that the Black Forest of Germany? It's massive, isn't it? I'm doing amazing. I wouldn't say it's amazing. I don't think I've lost any weight this week, eating all that bloody chicken yesterday anyway. I don't want to get back to the lazy habits. You know what I mean? I've not drank anything, not had the urge to drink anything. I've thought about alcohol, but I've not had the urge to drink any alcohol. But I need to. The reason I started this channel was to encourage me to actually go out and get some exercise and lose some weight, because I got a massive gut on me when I've stopped drinking through the amount of alcohol I was drinking, and I've just sort of blown up like Mr. Blobby, and I'd say I'm best part of a couple of stone. This shirt I've got on here now, when I went to Benidorm in October, I took it with me, and there's a green one, a blue one, and a black one, and the green one was bigger than the blue one and the black one, and I couldn't wear them because they were too tight. And it was that bit where your belly was hanging out underneath, and it's awful, isn't it? They don't look worse than the bloke with the massive guts and half of it showing. Close to the Western Forest, at the Rothar Mountains. Oh, right. I've never been to Germany. Never been. And now I know where you live, I'm going to come round. We can stay with you for a month. That'd be fine, wouldn't it? That'd be all right. I'll bring Anki with me as well. We had, can you remember Jay? I went to see him one day in Holland, in a beautiful place, lovely man. I don't know what happened to him. It just seems you get a lot of people come on the internet and then all of a sudden they disappear. And that's exactly what Jay did. But I used to, I really enjoyed going to visit him. It was a beautiful day. He's got a gorgeous wife. He was really friendly. I mean, there's a lot of places that you go. If you went to somebody's house, they'd be like, oh, God, he's inviting his mates round. I'll just be rude to them and they'll go pretty quick. We were there from about 3 till 8. And it was just like, we're going to have to go, Jay. We can't stop any longer. And, he was saying, no, you ain't got to go. I said, well, no, we really ought to, because we've both had quite a lot to drink and we've got to get on a train and get back to The Hague. If we don't watch it, we'll end up somewhere we don't want to be, So that's what we did. Hooked on Funk, yeah. Yeah, he was a lovely guy. Lovely, lovely guy. Really, I tell you what, he's massive as well, but really fit. So he's just hellishly tall. He must be 6'5". But I think a lot of Dutch people are, aren't they? There is a lot of tall Dutch people. And really well educated as well. I think he was, didn't he do advertising? No, graphic design. He was a graphic designer by trade. But then chose to be a cycle mechanic. I think he'd done that and then gone on to something else afterwards. But I say, he's a smashing fella. He could drink and all. What he liked to drink. But I think his wife was, she found spaces on ships for freight. So if she was flat out busy, I think it was a Monday afternoon when we went, or maybe Tuesday. But it was, my wife got COVID while I was there. So I said to her, I'll come home then. Oh, no, she says, you're going to see your friend. I said, well, I don't want to leave you there with COVID on your own. Well, she said, at least see him before you come back. So we made it, and flew back the day after we'd been to see him. But did that just flash then? It seemed like it flashed. I've got a weird thing with my computer. I need to have a word with Graham, because I fire the computer up and it comes up with a tab, a Google tab. So I've Googled every which way to make sure that this tab don't come up, and it still does. And the tab that comes up, nothing's signed into it or anything like that. It's just this random tab. So each time you have to click it off and then click back into Google. I've uninstalled Chrome and then put it back in, and it just won't stop. I wonder how Disco Potato is doing. I haven't seen her. No, I think we've got her on Facebook. She's still got a life, bless her. I think she just decided that she was a bit too busy in her life. Because, I mean, when she first started with YouTube, she was in a settled relationship, wasn't she? And then that ended. And so she got another relationship. And, obviously it's a different relationship. The person she's with now might not want her to be on YouTube, or she might be really, really happy and not have any need to go and spend time talking to anybody else. But things have changed, haven't they? I think they do, don't they? We all did it. When we were doing the vape show for ages, and then it just sort of runs out, doesn't it? And other vape shows have run out. You just get to the stage where you just think, well, we need to find another subject. But I mean, I don't know. You never know. 3 or 4 years time, this might run out. But going for a walk and then uploading videos, you just got to keep finding somewhere to go for a walk. It's quite easy because, I mean, like when you're sort of reviewing stuff for a vape show or something like that, you're talking about the product and you're trying to make a decent video up. And, to get that video, you can't get them monetized because they won't monetize them. Whereas with this one, if you're going for a walk and you get enough people watching it, you're doing right. 213, there you go, lovely. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? We'll see anyway. I said on Thursday I'll try it again in the vertical mode and see which is better. But I just fancy sitting in this big comfy chair that I've had for ages and ages, and I just fancy doing it the old way with a bit of an intro and just do it the way you used to do it before. This would be better if you had far more subscribers, to be honest, because you'd get a flow in that way. But doing it the other way is better to get in. To get new people in. And it's nice to talk to different people. Obviously, there is, quite a few people in here who are new already, but there's a few people keep popping up that I've only met within the last 3 months. And, it's just nice to broaden your horizons. I mean, John, I get on well with John. Never met him yet. Obviously, we will do one day. Especially if I buy a swan, because he'll come over and do a video about it. Maybe. He's probably got to bed anyway by now. But it's just, something different. You've got to move on, haven't you, really? It's amazing, really, because the people that watch this channel are all over 50. And there's quite a lot of them that are over 60. And a good few of them that are over 65. It seems to be that type of, I'm getting to that age that I don't. The style of stuff that I do is pretty laid back and chatty. And I think it wouldn't suit a young person because they want a quick 15 seconds of noise, don't they? And confusion and sparks flying. Whereas with older people, you just want to relax, don't you? Somebody to talk to you. Somebody to tell you about, learn something you didn't know when you got up that morning. So. But for some reason, and I did a thing about tank beats this week, and that's not gone too well. Which I thought it was a good video. I really genuinely did. But and then another one that you don't, think's an amazing video does really well. I know that sometimes I've don't age shame me. I'm only 45. Well, you old dear. I can't wait when I get to that age. I say it starts at about that age. The people that are watching start at about 40, 45. There's very, very few that younger people that watch it. Obviously, it's not for under 18s. I always set them for for not available for people under the age of 18 because it just saves a lot of rubbish. Otherwise, you've got to put it for kids, and there's lots of things that lots of hoops you've got to jump through if you actually leave it so kids can watch it. If a swear word comes out or something like that, or somebody in the chat puts it. Are you only 38, John? Bloody hell. What's going on? You've got a fixation with swans? You should still be tearing around bloody racetracks. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. It was nearly 4 o'clock. I did that fatal thing where I came in from work at about 1:30. And I thought, I just need to relax. I'll just watch a few YouTube shorts about swans and TikToks. And I think it was about 3:30 by the time I went to bed. Got a random question. Does anyone know if you can connect the Meta Quest 3 to the Xbox? I don't know. So if anybody knows about that, I don't know what a Meta Quest is, to be honest. To the Xbox Series X. What is one? I mean, obviously, if anybody's in here, if you can help Mike out, it'd be good. Might be worth a Google. You never know. I found a one-shot concentrate today. And I started trying to mix it. And I was trying to find out what the thing was. And I kept Googling it and it didn't even come up. So it must be that long ago, or it was something they discontinued. Hanky's only 10 in the head. Is that true, Steve? Did you hear what he said about you? Do you want me to get him? Love wildlife, mate. I've put helmets up. I love wildlife. I didn't realise how much I enjoy walking down an empty beach talking into a microphone, to be honest. I absolutely love it. I genuinely do. I like to be on my own in the middle of a beach and just jabber away into a camera. And then when you get home and you look at the 4K video that you've took, you think, God, we are so lucky. I've found so many different places that I never would have found if I'd have carried on drinking. Because I just used to go out for lunch or somewhere at Mablethorpe and then get back in the car and come home, or go to Skeggy and do the same thing. Whereas now I've actually got a thirst for looking round places. I'm going to do, in fact, next week I might do, I'm not saying because otherwise you'll know. But there's a few places I've got in my head that I want to go and film. And they're not sort of in the middle of the seaside resorts either. I'm not really that interested in Skegness, if I'm really honest. It's very, very busy. It's a bit like, I don't know. You stopped superbikes, so you've become by now. Is that what you used to do, ride superbikes? Bloody hell. Yeah, that's the trouble, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. It's, do you know, I nearly had another motorbike in the side of the car the other day. One of them overtakers, I'm coming through anyway, mate. Doesn't matter what you're doing. And I thought, oh, man, here we go again. I was waiting for the bang. Anyway, got through. I think, Christ. I think, for every motorcyclist you get that actually knows what he's doing, there's a couple more that don't. And there's some massively powerful machines. I mean, that guy that ran into me the other week, he knew exactly what he was doing, but he just made a slight mistake, and it cost him a fender bender. It cost him a bit of money on his insurance, but thankfully he's going to be all right. It didn't smash him up. I ain't really done it dangerous. I've always had to try my best to make sure I could work, because, we had kids real young, so I never really got into it. And I was always at work. I used to work every hour there was. Went to Skegness on holiday a few years ago. It's busy in the summer. Yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah, it is. It's busy. I tell you what, it's busy in the winter. They built a Premier Inn in that car park at the side of the pier. That side. If the pier's there, that car park there is now a Premier Inn in there. Nearly the same size as the car park. And then you've got everything. And we went, and it was early March, and there's loads and loads of things open. and had a very mediocre carvery in that pub on the corner, which I expected to be good. To be honest, it was awful, absolutely bloody awful. It was. I certainly wouldn't go in there again for food. And then, like we started walking about, and there was a lot of chip shops and that, but there isn't really anything else. It's never floated my boat. I love Mablethorpe. I don't know why, I just do. I think sometimes it's because I used to go there when I was a kid, and it's just fond memories of being a kid. But I think I'll still rather go to Spain, to be honest. I did have a thing about I got some money come through that we've been investing for ages. Not masses of it, but I've just got some bit of money in the bank. And I said to my wife, why don't we buy a camper van? Because I've been watching Stephen, Country Van Live TV, and I says, why don't we buy one? And we can just go where we want then. She said, yeah, but we can't go where we want. I said, why? What do you mean? Well, she said, in case you forgot, we've got a terminally ill daughter, and we both work full time. And then I worked it out, and I rang my brother up. I said, what do you reckon? I said, what's it cost you to run a camper? He said, we've got 500 quid insurance. He said, there's always something wrong with the caravan the camper every MOT, so we want another grand for that. Then you've got to tax it, and all that. And he said and I did a quick ready reckon, and you could have had 2 weeks in Spain for that. So you'd be better off just saving your money, and, if you got to retirement and going to Spain for all of January or something, that'd be the easiest way of doing it. Cheaper than having a camper. Unless you were going to do it full time, and I don't think you should be into that, to be honest. If I was a single bloke, I'd be all right in it. I'd love it. I wouldn't love being a single bloke, but I would love to just do it. That life that Stephen had. Well, obviously he's not very well at the minute, so he's just had to curtail it a little bit. But that life, living on Mull all winter for free, I could go with that. It'd suit me just fine. Anyway, we've come to that time. Thank you very much for popping in. I don't think we've had as many people in as what we normally have with doing it the vertical way. So for the foreseeable future, I'll probably just carry on doing that. I just thought I'd come on and show the people that never seen my little studio setup. But I think we'll carry on doing the vertical ones until we get a few more subscribers to chat to, and we'll do it again. I borrowed my uncle's 8-berth camper and went to Amsterdam from Glasgow. It was a great holiday. That sounds... I don't know. I'm trying to think... I'm trying to think of the film. Oh dear. I could just imagine that in all smoke coming out the windows. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'm going to watch some more of this thing I've been watching. This Australian thing on Disney Plus. If you haven't watched it, watch it. Mr. whatever it's called. Somebody else will put it in the chat, because I still can't remember what it's called. Mr. In Between, that's right. Yeah. I've been watching that. I was just starting to watch it before it was time to go live, so I had to curtail it. So I've got a little bit more of that to watch. Anyway, thanks for popping in. If you've popped in, if you could give us a thumbs up, and if you've not been on here before, if you could subscribe, it would be amazing. Because then I'll have more people to talk to, and we'll catch you all Thursday night late on, unless something happens. But we'll see. Catch you all later. Bye bye.